Okay, today we're going to break down on how we clean an AR-15. There's a lot of debate on how frequent you should clean your AR-15. 1,000 rounds, 2,000 rounds, 500 rounds. You know, that answer is completely subjective, and you know, everybody kind of has a different answer. But the common answer is it doesn't have to be cleaned that often. It's not like a 1911 where every 300 rounds you need to do kind of a field strip and clean everything and lube everything down. I will say you should keep them lubed pretty frequently. You want to keep everything wet and moving. Now there's different scenarios. Shorter barrel like this, especially running a can, there's going to be a lot more carbon buildup in the rifle, so it will require cleaning a little bit more often than your standard 16-inch or 18 or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of show you how I do a cleaning of this is my Mark 18, and show you what I do. First, we're just going to check and make sure the gun is clear. Gun's clear. Okay, now what I'm going to do is remove the lower from the upper. So you have these pins right here. Pop out our pins, and that will remove our upper from our lower. Take a dirty old towel or rag and just kind of place that there. Some other rags here on standby. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the charging handle and bolt carrier group just right here. That just comes right out. We're going to put the bolt there, and we're going to take charging handle, take that out as well. Put those both there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start by cleaning the lower. What you really want to just kind of wipe down is some of the areas in here, some of the contact points. For cleaning, what I like to use is this Hoppy's Action Cleaner. I like it because it's aerosol and you can kind of spray into the cracks and crevices and get in there pretty good. So I'll start with this. I'll just spray a little bit of that down there. Let that sit there for a little bit. While that's cleaning, I'm going to go over to my upper and just spray a little bit of this in there as well, into the upper and into the barrel, and then into the upper receiver a little bit as well. Take our bolt carrier group. We can give that a spray. Yeah, the spray's good because it really gets in there. Okay, we gave that a second. So now Q-tips I love because you can just get into the tiny cracks and crevices and just get to work. You know, really the most important part of this lower, as far as keeping clean and gritty, is the trigger. Good for now. Next thing we can do is we can remove our buffer weight and buffer spring. That just comes right out. You know, this is more of a deep cleaning kind of thing. You don't need to remove this that often and clean it, but take that off, just give it a wipe down. I use this Corrosion X. It is a CLP, but it's 2 times the lubrication of most CLP, so it's a really good lube. This is what I like to use, and this is what I have, so it works just fine. Post in the comment section what you guys like to use to clean and lube your ARs. Do you use just a CLP? Do you use a cleaner and a lube? What products do you guys like to use? I'd like to see what you guys are using. All right, so we can put this back in our buffer tube. The lower is good to go, so we can move on to our upper, which is going to be where most of the cleaning is going to take place. I like to use this kit that I have here. It's a Boost Steady AR cleaning kit. I'll put a link in the description for this, but it's some good stuff in here. There's a couple different variations of bore cleaners. You have 2 bore snakes. You've got a brush. You've got some patches too. This tool really comes in handy. It's kind of like a dentist tool, but you have some kind of sharp points where you can really clean some of the tiny cracks out. All right, here's a little bit of a tighter angle view of how to take apart your bolt carrier group. Another good reason why I like this sort of dentist tool is because you can come in and you can grab this pin right here. That just comes straight out there, and then I usually just bang it on the table and the firing pin comes out of the bolt carrier. See that? There's your firing pin. Now we want to take off the cam pin, which is this pin here that holds the bolt in. Turn that, and then that just pops right out. You can see these things do build up quite a bit of. The bolt just pops right out. Take my cleaner, just kind of douse all this. That kind of soak in for a minute. Your firing pin. You can also, if you have a small pan or something, you can just sit this stuff in a cleaning solution in a solvent for, 5 minutes or so, and it'll do a good job of just eating all that stuff off, loosening it up. Okay, that's pretty clean. All right, now we can take our lube and reapply lubrication. And it's probably smart to use like rubber gloves when you're doing this, because look what happens to your hands. They get pretty dirty. I just ran out of rubber gloves, so I'm gonna have to look like a mechanic for the next couple hours. Reapply lube to your bolt carrier. All right, those are in good shape. They're ready to be reassembled into the bolt carrier group. Okay, so it's reassembled in the reverse order as it was broken down. So what we do is we take the carrier. So we're gonna put in our bolt. Now the cam pin. And now we're gonna put our firing pin back in. The bolt carrier group is reassembled and ready to be put back into the rifle. So we will put that there. Now we will take our charging handle. I'm gonna wipe it down. Maybe put a little bit of lube in there. Okay, charging handle is lubed and good to go. Our buffer. Wipe that down, clean it off. A little bit of lube. Starting to see a pattern here. Clean it off, lube it back up, good to go. It's not rocket science, to be honest. Okay, now we're gonna get into the upper receiver group here. And we've already sprayed some cleaner into the barrel here, but what I wanna do is really kind of give that barrel a good clean. So what I like to do is on a deep clean, sometimes I'll take one of these more coarse brass brushes and I will run that through the barrel. But if I'm just want to give it a quick clean, a quick lube, I'll take a bore snake and I will run this bore snake through the bore. At the top here, what I'll do is I'll take a little cleaner, just run your bore snake right through. Do that a couple times. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of this corrosion X, pull that through. I'll do this 2 or 3 times. And then sometimes what I like to do is take my little flashlight. This is the Olight i3T. I can shine this through the barrel. And you can't really see the rifling in the barrel, but if I look here, I can see it. And it looks very clean. Now I will just clean out the upper receiver group here. Give that another spray in there. Try not to get the gas tube. And take my Q-tip, clean out a bunch of the carbon in there. It's good enough for me. Another thing I like to do is actually my muzzle brake. I like to clean this, and especially the grooves there, because the can goes on this. I want to make sure that contact point in these grooves are clean. So I'll take this cleaner, paper towels, clean that. This is another good use of this dentist tool. You can take that to clean out any carbon buildup on these contact points and these threads that the can goes on. So I usually take a minute to kind of dig that off. Don't want your can to get stuck on here. Okay, that's pretty good. Then what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of lube and I put it in the upper receiver group where the bolt carrier tends to cause some friction, and there's some contact there on the sides there. Try not to get it on your gas tube or in your gas tube. I'll take some lube and just put it on the areas that the pins go into the upper. And we are pretty good. We are in good shape. The gun is definitely clean enough for me. Feel comfortable with. That is how I break down and clean my AR-15. And now I'm gonna reassemble it. Take our bolt, put those back in. Now we'll put the buffer back on the back of that. Now we can reassemble the upper to lower. And we are all good. Just cycle the bolt a little bit to get that lube going. And your AR-15 is clean and ready to go.